everyone. Dr. Frankie here. Whew, this has been kind of a tough week as a psychologist and a coach. I think the whole world has been impacted by all that's been going on with Charlie Kirk. But what's standing out to me most right now, I mean, it's coming up in many, many, many of my sessions where clients are showing up feeling so saddened, no matter whether they're liberal or um, more conservative. Just the level of, I guess, the idea that people are celebrating a brutal murder of somebody that may have different political views, and how we know people who are celebrating it. And for me, it's that I'm starting to really wonder if our brains, I mean, I don't know, I haven't had time to, I would love to have set aside time to really do some research and look in some journals and see what's going on in terms of our brains actually changing because of all of the tablets and the phones and the computers, endless hours, day after day of that exposure. We know for sure that it's not serving us. But then also just the deluge constantly of very disturbing material coming at us regularly, that we're getting so desensitized and losing sight of what really matters in life and humanity and kindness and care, and getting caught up in so much BS around differing viewpoints and thinking that, like, how did we get so far off to celebrate a human's death who had, in some ways, maybe more extreme viewpoints about religion or family or, um, gay rights, or I'm somebody who's very much a part of the gay community, identifies as queer, was married to a woman, and there's no part of me that feels celebratory that this person has been brutally murdered in front of college students. This is a father that has young children now are going to be raised without their father, and a wife that is now widowed. So anyway, I don't really talk politics on any platform that I have, not in social media, and it's just I keep it separate. But it's just a lot of what I talk about here is about 99% of it is about human connection and how to care and show up for ourselves, but also how to show up for others. And it's a very low moment in time right now. And I think that if there's any part of you that felt excited about seeing somebody brutally murdered who, for having different viewpoints, I ask that you just slow down and really think about where that's coming from, and how we may have lost sight of what really matters in life. And yeah, that's just a question that I think we need to consider and ponder, and also the idea that we need to really stay away and, like, better manage how much time we're on our tablets and cell phones and doom scrolling and all of that, because it's not serving us. Anyway, so it's my PSA today. Sorry to be dumping on all of you. You're here to learn something, and I also feel like it's helpful for you to get a sense of me and what I'm experiencing day to day, and a more personal note, when I connect with you all, not just show up and teach you something. Also, you get a sense of me and what matters to me, and my values. So, yeah, hopefully, I appreciate you for listening and hanging in. And I'm going to jump into my material momentarily. We're going to talk about what's disorganized attachment. It's timely. It's a good time to be talking about attachment theory and the different types of attachment styles. I've covered securely attached, I've covered anxiously attached, and now I'm going to cover disorganized attachment. But before I jump in, I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel. If you're new, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. I hope that you learned something from what I share on my channel. I've been here for, I think it's almost 17 years, sharing all of the wisdom and the knowledge that I have acquired as a clinical psychologist, as a board certified sex therapist, and also as a CEO of the largest LGBTQ plus matchmaking firm in the United States. So if you're single, definitely visit littlegaybook.com. Get in there if you're part of the queer community. We're always looking for matches for our clients. And if you actually are really actively wanting to find a partner, a quality partner, definitely schedule a call with us and we can talk all about what it looks like to engage our services. And for those of you that haven't subscribed yet, click that little bell below, select all notifications, and I usually drop a new video 3 times a week. So please join me. Comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, your reactions, your questions. I try to respond as much as I can. And thanks all for being here with me. So, what's disorganized attachment? Attachment theory is everywhere in contemporary dating. Many of us are in the habit of dialing in a new connections attachment style by the third date. But if you're only on the lookout for anxious and avoidant attachment styles, you may be missing part of the picture. There's more to attachment theory than the anxious avoidant dynamic. Here's what to know about another common attachment dynamic, and it's called disorganized attachment. How do attachment styles work? Attachment theory holds that our early interactions with our parents or other caregivers have a powerful, lasting impact on how we interact with the world around us, and especially our relationships with others. If we had a stable, supportive, and encouraging caregiver, we likely grew up feeling confident in our ability to navigate the world with their support and secure in our ability to come to them for comfort or help if we encounter difficulties. That leads to a secure attachment style. If our caregivers weren't consistently stable and supportive, if they were emotionally volatile, going through something difficult and struggling with addiction, unstable or unreliable in any way, then a child might develop some form of insecure attachment. The most common forms of insecure attachment and what you may be familiar with are anxious attachment and avoidant attachment. Anxiously attached people tend to be extremely invested in connections with others, feeling their well being is gravely threatened if their connections aren't stable. Avoidantly attached people tend to feel wary of connections and can easily feel stifled or suffocated by them, feeling safer when they have a high degree of independence. While these are two very commonly recognized forms of insecure attachment, there are others as well, like disorganized attachment. What does disorganized attachment look like? For people with disorganized attachment, sometimes called fearful-avoidant attachment, they have two strong conflicting drives: the need to connect with others and form intimate attachments, and the need to protect oneself, including from the harm that might come from intimate attachments. People with this style of attachment often feel anxious about forming intimate relationships, and they may suffer from a very negative self image. This conflicting drive may cause them to act in ways that seem contradictory or inconsistent and can lead to self sabotaging in relationships. People with disorganized attachment may feel very lonely, though they want connection, actually. The stress and fear associated with connection causes them to act erratically, driving away potential partners. It causes the opposite reaction than what they really want, or even close friendships, they'll push them away. They may be extremely distrustful with a strong fear that people they're close to will hurt them. Their fear of being hurt or rejected may drive them to behave badly in their relationship or lash out, driving their partner away and fulfilling their own fears and confirming their belief that no one can be trusted. Disorganized attachment may mean people see signs of rejection when there actually are none, and thus develop a self fulfilling prophecy. For example, they may stop replying to a potential date because they believe they'll be rejected, or even abandon a serious relationship entirely because intense shame and fear of being perceived poorly means they'd rather be alone than risk their partner having a poor opinion of them. Though people with disorganized attachment want love and connection, the shame, confusion, and anxiety and doubt associated with it make it difficult for them to commit to it. Why do people have disorganized attachment? For many people, disorganized attachment is the result of a chaotic, scary, and even abusive childhood. At some point in childhood, a source of connection, security, and love in the form of a parent or guardian figure also became a source of genuine fear or terror. This could be direct in the form of abuse or harm, or could be that the child witnessed a traumatic event involving the caretaker or otherwise associates them with danger. Children who experience this are in a difficult position. They can no longer fully trust or feel safe with their caregiver, who they know possesses some danger to them. But they're also forced to rely on them to some degree for those material safety, those things, right? The comforts and safety and care and love because they're just children. The disconnection from their caregiver may also leave them feeling very lonely and isolated. They may feel an intense longing for a safe connection. It's understandable that someone who experiences this would have complicated and conflicting feelings about relationships. On the one hand, there's a strong desire for safety and unconditionally loving connection that they didn't get in childhood. On the other hand, it's almost impossible to imagine an intimate connection that's actually safe and doesn't contain some element of danger or threat. What should you do about disorganized attachment? Although attachment wounds can be challenging to live with and challenging to work through, no one is doomed to have difficult relationships forever or to be fundamentally unable to connect with others. If the source of disorganized attachment is some degree of trauma during childhood, then pursuing dedicated trauma therapy to help rewire the brain and heal the nervous system is a helpful step. Although trauma and attachment style don't have a one-to-one relationship, helping to treat one will often have a positive impact on the other. It's also important in healing attachment wounds to avoid the impulse to isolate or divest from intimate relationships altogether. Though people with disorganized attachment may feel that their best bet is to avoid relationships entirely, the truth is that we can only heal our attachment wounds in the same way they were caused, through connection with others. So, I encourage you, if you're relating to this, try to lean into relationships. I know it feels scary. There's a lot of fear in it, but the only way to repair is through it. So lean into it. Any reactions, responses? I'd love to hear from you. I know I've talked about my attachment style being avoidantly attached. I grew up in a very chaotic childhood with an addict. My mom was an addict and also struggled with mental illness, bipolar disorder, that actually ultimately took her life. And it's taken me many, many years of working on myself, not just learning the theory and really understanding it through and through, but really bumping up against it in relationships, whether it be friendships, whether it be romantic relationships, just navigating that and noticing how my system responds to it and recognizing that it's normal and learning new tools and ways to respond that are adaptive, that actually create more connection and intimacy in my life, not the opposite. So, thanks again for being here with me. Love you all. Take really good care. Nourish those relationships that you have. Let everybody know that you love them, the people that really matter to you. And yeah, keep filling yourself up with good vibes because there's so much craziness in the world. We got to filter some of that out. And yeah, take good care. I'll see you next time. Kisses, hugs. Bye, everyone.